Alrighty guys, so here I decided to do a video for the instrument cluster, just kind of going over the menu, the different options and things like that. Bear with me as I try to hold this phone still while I'm using these controls. It's probably not going to be the easiest thing, but I'll try my best. So at the home screen you can see the miles per hour. That's pretty much what you get at the home screen. It shows you the miles per hour, your fuel range, which always shows up, your time, and then the speed limit on the road. You can see on the left there, I'm in a parking lot, so there's obviously no speed limit posted here. Looking at the next one is the information window. So you have the fuel economy, which shows your 50 mile here. If you click on the actual scroll button, you can actually change the distance of what you want to see. So the standard 25, 50, and 400, depending on what you want. Then you can also reset the best score for that specific set of mileage. So the info page options, this actually allows you to see every single page and add what you want. So the options here are the speedometer, trip 1, trip 2, fuel range, oil life, tire pressure, air filter life, brake pad life, fuel economy, a timer, so like a stopwatch, follow distance, which would be for your front collision alert, driver assistance, engine hours, transmission fluid. We'll turn that one on. I think that probably is just temp, but we'll check that one out. Trailer braking, off-road, and then blank page. So as we go through these, we'll see the speed, the trip, the fuel range, your oil life, tire pressures, air filter, brake pad life, fuel economy, transmission fluid. So that just shows you what the temp is. And that also changes, I'll show you in a second, that also changes for tow haul when you switch the mode from the voltage. Your trailer brake gain, you show your settings. And then this is your four-wheel drive. This is pretty standard. We've had this for quite a while. So this is just the standard off-road information. Then moving on to the next tab is going to be your music. So you can actually change songs by scrolling through. And then you can actually go through your favorites. You can change your settings for how many favorites you have. And then you can change your inputs on what you're listening to through here without actually touching the radio. And then moving on to navigation. So this would tell me I'm in Rapid City, facing south. And then if I push on that button, I can see recent destinations, favorites, and then it tells me I'm 3 minutes from home. So if I push on 3 minutes to home, it's going to go through the navigation and actually direct me to home. But since I'm 3 minutes away, I don't think I need that. And then, not sure if you can actually see the map in here. Let's actually just pick a destination so we can see exactly what happened. So we'll just go home and see what happens. Pick on 3 minutes to home. Maybe it just tells me that and it's not an actual selectable window. So it's not selectable, but I can go to my radio screen here and let's see. Let's just put in home and let's see what we get. See if this actually shows up on the display here with the map or if it just does the road. So as I figured,
proceed to the highlighted road.
It's just going to show you the actual directions. It's not going to give you a little map or anything. So it's still pretty cool though. You kind of get an idea of what it is. And then coming off of that, also in my heads-up display, it also shows up as the navigation as well. So you can kind of see there's no map. It's just, it mirrors what's in your display here. And this is a perfect time to go through the HUD as well. So here are kind of the menus. You got the navigation, the miles per hour. You have your four-wheel drive capability. So in the AT4, this would probably be cool if you guys are doing some trail riding or something like that. You can kind of see the angles and things like that of the vehicle. You have your standard speedometer, which is what I like. And then you have your lane keep assist. So as you go and drive, these lanes will turn red if you get close. Just kind of an indicator. I don't know really what the use of it is, but that's what that does. And then back to navigation. Alrighty, so let me zoom out. So I'm gonna cancel this destination really quick so we can get out of here. Okay, so moving on to the next screen, we have a phone. So I don't have a phone connected because I have it on airplane mode, so I don't get interrupted with this video. But if you connect it, you can basically go through, select your contacts on who you want to call. You can also click on the voice button right there. That allows you to basically say call whoever, and then it'll actually call that without actually hitting any buttons. So that's pretty useful. And then the settings page, you can actually change your units, US to metric. And there's your two options for that. Info page options, this is again where you can add pages. Your display, you can show your speed signs or compass. Home shows speedometer, speed signs, time, and fuel range. So you can actually customize what was on that home screen just for these four. That's about all the options you get. Speed warning, you can turn that on if you want to be warned if you go to hit a specific speed. Heads up display. Speed limit style gives you a classic or a speed limit bar. So let's show you guys that really quick. Let me go back to my standard thing and get a little zoom for you. So here's that. So this is the classic speed limit, and this is the speed limit bar. Now, since there's no speed, you're not going to be able to see anything, but imagine it as a horizontal bar that kind of it just has like a tally mark to the right, and it tells you what the speed is. So I don't like it as much as the classic because this just kind of stands out more in your field of view. So if you want something that's a little bit more hidden or doesn't take up as much space, maybe try the speed limit bar. And then the none option is obviously nothing. So just a few options that you can do for that. All right, moving back on to, oh, you can also adjust the rotation. I tried to mess with this a little bit. You can kind of see, sorry for the moving back and forth, but if I do the rotation, you can see it slightly. If you look at the curb as a reference, you can adjust your rotation of this. I'm not sure why you'd want to, but feel free to do that if that's what interests you, I guess. And then software information just kind of tells you what the version is and things like that, so nothing too interesting. And that sums up the option for the instrument cluster. I guess we can just lump all this into one. So I'll move over to the actual radio and go over some of those settings. So if we hit the home button, this is your home screen that you get. It shows your radio station, your phone, and then your navigation. If you scroll over, you have audio. So audio is just the way that you can see your presets at the top. You can also scroll through your sets of presets this way, and you can also just kind of swipe with your finger instead of using the button. On the left, you'll see AM, FM, Sirius, and if you hit more, you can see this type of view, so you'll get Bluetooth as well. If you have a USB, an SD card, things like that, or an auxiliary, you'll see those on this menu. I'll try to hold this phone still. It's not working too well, sorry. And then you have your standard buttons to go back and forth through the channels, and then tune as well. Browse will give you a list of channels if you're in the XM, so this is really cool. We didn't have this. I didn't have this on my other one. So you can kind of see what's playing before you actually click on it, and kind of see what, you know, instead of having to click through, oh, is there anything that I want to listen to? Well, you can kind of just pick one. Hey, Earth, Wind, and Fire, let's listen to that. And then you can hit the X to go back. So the sound is your bass, mid-range, treble, equalizer, and then your fade and balance here. You can adjust the sound. That's pretty standard. I think that's pretty much it for the audio portion. So we'll go back home, go to phone. I don't have a phone connected, but if you did, you can go through your favorites, your keypad to actually dial, recent calls, contacts, and then you can manage your phones. In here, you can change your settings for your Bluetooth with interruptions, notifications, things like that. Navigation, really nice map. I do like this quite a bit. So kind of shows you where you're at. The plus and minus is for the zoom, and then your keyword search. So kind of like a phone, you can actually type in what you want. You can click on the button, the voice button, or click on your steering wheel and say find, etc. And then here you can see a bunch of different categories of what you want. So if you want to see what food is in the area, and let's say fast food, it's probably going to tell me McDonald's. So there's Buffalo Wings and Rings, Yogurt Bar, Black Hills Coffee, Subway, etc. If you pick on that, you can click go, favorite, or if you have your phone on Bluetooth, or if you have OnStar minutes, you can click on call, and it will actually just dial it for you, and you can order your Subway sandwich for pickup or whatever you want to do. So that's kind of cool. So we'll get out of this favorites, and then this is your 3 buttons, is your options. So you can change your map heading, you can change what POIs or points of interest are showing on your map. If you want to see traffic events nearby, so this is, there's nothing because South Dakota, there's no people that live here. Edit destinations, you can, if you had one set, you can kind of add additional ones on the way as like a waypoint. And then your settings, you can actually set up your favorites. Map preferences will give you colors, landmarks. If you want to see 3D buildings, let's turn that on, and show terrain in 3D. That's pretty cool as well. You can see I haven't messed with much of this stuff, so this is the first time for me. Route preferences, fastest, if you want to avoid unpaved roads, carpool lanes, and probably country borders and ferries, because most people don't want to do that. Navigation voice control, navigation volume, full prompt tones, that kind of stuff. Traffic preferences, if you have your XM traffic link as well that you subscribe to, you can show traffic. You can do ask before reroute or auto reroute if you have a traffic situation. We've gone through that one. Alert preferences to give you safety alerts and traffic camera alerts. Not sure what that is. You can manage your history. This bug is going inside the radio. And then you can click on about and get some information that way. I think I got the bug, so that's good. All right. That's it for the navigation, so that's pretty self-explanatory on what that does. I have my Wi-Fi hotspot turned off, but I haven't even touched it besides turning it off because I don't use it. So this is just your Wi-Fi hotspot settings. Your users, I kind of went over this before. I have not actually created a profile yet, but you can link a profile with a key, or you can actually save them online. So what this does for you is if you create a profile and you save all your favorites of your radio stations and things like that and all your navigation settings, and let's say next year you decide to buy a new truck, or in the unfortunate case that your truck gets in an accident or something and it gets totaled out, or someone steals it and you get a new one, regardless of the reason why you got a new one, you can actually just sign back in. It'll load everything up, and that avoids the headache of having to go through everything by itself. Apple CarPlay, I do have an iPhone, but I have not plugged it in yet to actually see, and then Android Auto for Android users. The trailering app, I do not have a trailer connected. I don't have one to show you guys, unfortunately, either. But you can see the status of your connections. It'll actually tell you like what lights are working and things like that. Your checklist, so if you're running a conventional trailer, this is your checklist that you're going to see, and then as you check those off, those will actually highlight, and then depending on what trailer you have. You can save trailer profiles, so if you have a specific trailer like a boat or a camper, you can set up each one individually so that the gain and everything for your brake controller stays with that trailer, so you don't have to adjust it every time. And then your settings, trailer detection alert, maintenance alerts for maintenance for your trailers, security alert, and then tow haul reminder mode. So again, not much I'm gonna really have to mess with, but that is there. Your apps is pretty cool. You can actually go through the app store if you're connected to Wi-Fi. Like I said in the last video, you can actually connect your truck to your Wi-Fi at home, kind of like a hotspot. So if you connect your truck to your home Wi-Fi in the driveway or something like that, you'll actually be able to go through and get these apps without 4G LTE in your vehicle. And then you can also, do other things without having the actual internet activated in your truck. So that's kind of cool. I don't have any apps right now. Yeah, I have none of these. So these are just telling me they want to download them. But there are apps available. It looks like there's 8 gigs free. So there's an 8 gig hard drive on board the radio. I'm not sure if you can actually transfer music from an SD or USB onto the radio. That'd be pretty cool. Instead of having to leave a USB stick in all the time. I'm afraid to hit the OnStar button, but let's do it. Okay, so it didn't call them, which is good. You can call your advisor, do hands-free calling, turn-by-turn directions, or your hotspot. And then this is just account information for the OnStar, which I do not use. After the trial's done, I just kind of let it expire and use my own phone and navigation and things like that. Climate is just like the buttons, which you see down here just on the screen, so you can actually adjust your temperature this way, change your fan speed, where your stuff is at, and then it's just easier. Personally, I think it's easier just to hit the buttons, but the options are available if you like the touch screens. And then I went over the cameras before. I'll just go through all the options. Sorry if it looks kind of hazy or there's glare there, but the left side you can see that overview, and then the front camera here. Let me turn, let's see, lines are on. So you can do front camera or rear camera, and then you can do front camera or rear camera by itself without the deal. You have the rear there, and then you have the front there. You have the overview, like a 3D type drawing, which the truck is always going to be white. Doesn't matter what color you get, it's just white for contrast. And then you have the opposite, which I think this is really cool. I think this is one of the coolest features that I've seen besides the mirror. And then you can see your side mirrors. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't even know you could see the front. So you can see the back, and then you can also see out towards the front. So if I turn the steering wheel here, you can see those wheels moving. Never even knew it had that. And then your ball camera for your trailer. And then this just adjusts if you want to see the 360. And then this one here will give you the lines, or it'll give you a single line. So let's go to this one. So you got this, and then if I was backing up, you'd see a single line down the center to line up the ball. But I do not, so we'll keep that on. So that's kind of cool how you can do that. I think that's all for the radio. Let's go back home, make sure we didn't miss anything. That's about it for the radio. So this is kind of just to sum up the technology piece of the vehicle. We went over the heads-up display. We went over the instrument cluster. We went over the radio a little bit. I've already talked about the mirror, but it's a really cool feature where you can actually go through. You can adjust the brightness of the mirror, and then you can also zoom in with the mirror, and then you can also adjust the actual up and down angle of the camera as well. So really cool stuff with this mirror. And then you can just turn it back. I think that's all I got for the tech part. So if you guys have any questions, just let me know and I'll try to answer them or show you guys some videos. But I think that's all I got for you guys. So enjoy the rest of your day, and thanks for watching. Appreciate it.